You see that monster on the thumbnail? That's not just a cartoon. That is your savings account right now. Every single year, inflation takes a bite out of your money, even while it's just sitting there. And if you're over 50, the stakes are even higher because you don't have 30 years to recover from a mistake. So here's the question nobody is asking. What if the safe strategies your parents taught you are actually the most dangerous ones in 2026? Stay with me till the end, because the answer will change how you look at every dollar you own. Why your money is losing the fight, even if you're doing everything right. Let's set the scene. You've been responsible your whole life. You saved. You didn't overspend. You put money in a savings account or maybe a fixed deposit. And on paper, you have more money than you did last year. But here's what the bank doesn't tell you. A savings account giving you 4% interest when real inflation runs at 6 to 8% means you are losing 2 to 4% of your purchasing power every single year. You are getting poorer while your balance goes up. This is called the real return. And most people over 50 have never calculated it once in their life. The money in your account looks fine, but the life that money can buy, shrinking every single year. Now you understand the real enemy. It's not the monster eating your cash from the outside. It's the slow leak you cannot see. But here's what gets worse. Most of the inflation-proof investments people recommend have a hidden catch nobody talks about. The boring asset class, quietly beating inflation right now. Here's something the finance world has been quietly buzzing about since 2023. I bonds, TIPS, Series I savings bonds. These are government-backed bonds directly linked to the inflation rate. When inflation goes up, your return goes up with it. In 2022, I bonds were paying 9.62% interest, guaranteed by the US government. Most people had no idea this existed. Meanwhile, millions sat in savings accounts earning less than 1%. Now, I bonds have limits. You can only buy $10,000 per year per person. That's the challenge. But here's the insight. A couple, husband and wife, can buy $20,000 per year. And if you set up a trust, you can add another $10,000 on top of that. For someone over 50 building a stable, inflation-protected base, this is one of the most underused tools available. It is not glamorous, but glamorous loses money. Boring builds wealth. But bonds alone won't build real wealth. There's one more asset almost every advisor recommends, but nobody tells you how to use it correctly after 50. How to use the stock market without the stress. The right way after 50. Let's be honest. A lot of people over 50 are afraid of the stock market. And honestly, after 2008, after 2020, that fear makes complete sense. But here's the thing. Avoiding the market entirely is also a decision, and it's not a safe one. A study by JP Morgan Asset Management found that if you missed just the 10 best days in the stock market over a 2-0-year period, your total return dropped by more than 50%. 10 days out of more than 7,000 trading days. The people who panic sell during crashes, they always miss those 10 days. So the strategy is not to be out of the market. The strategy is to be in the market, but in a way that lets you sleep at night. For someone over 50, that means dividend-paying index funds, not individual stocks. Dividends give you income from your investment even when the market goes down. You are not waiting for the price to go up. The money keeps coming regardless. And in an inflationary environment, income beats growth almost every time. Now we have your money protected and working. But here's the section most people completely ignore, and it costs them tens of thousands in avoidable losses. The tax strategy, nobody talks about that, can add years to your retirement. Here's a question. How much of your wealth are you handing back to the government every year unnecessarily? Most people over 50 are focused on making more money. Very few are focused on keeping what they already have. Research from Vanguard shows that smart tax strategy adds an average of 1.5% in net returns every single year. On a $300,000 portfolio over 10 years, that is more than $50,000 in additional wealth. just from understanding where to hold your investments. Here's the core concept: asset location. It's not just what you own, it's where you hold it. Bonds and dividend stocks, hold them inside a tax-advantaged account IRA or Roth IRA where they grow without being taxed every year. Growth stocks, hold those in a regular account. They don't generate taxable income until you sell. This one shift, moving the right assets into the right accounts, can legally reduce your tax bill by thousands every year. If you're over 50, you qualify for catch-up contributions, meaning you can put $7,500 extra into your IRA every single year above the standard limit. Most people don't know this exists. You now have the investment strategy and the tax strategy, but there's one final piece, and without it, everything else can unravel: inflation-proofing your monthly expenses. We've been talking about growing your wealth, but inflation attacks from two sides. Side one, it erodes your savings. Side two, it raises the cost of your life. And if your expenses are rising faster than your returns, the math never works, no matter how smart your investments are. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, Americans over 65 spend a disproportionately higher percentage of income on healthcare and housing, the exact two categories where inflation has been running hottest. This means inflation hits people over 50 harder than the official headline number suggests. The strategy here is what economists call a lifestyle inflation firewall. It means deliberately locking in your major fixed costs before inflation reaches them, refinancing at a fixed rate, locking in long-term service contracts, prepaying for insurance at today's rates, and building one income stream that rises with inflation, a dividend portfolio, part-time consulting income, rental income, anything that goes up when prices go up. When your income rises with inflation and your major costs are locked, the monster loses its teeth. You're no longer fighting inflation. You're structured so it works for you instead of against you. Let's bring it all together. Before you click this video, inflation felt like something happening to you. Now you have a complete solution. 1. Your savings are losing real value even when the number goes up. Calculate your real return. 2. Gold and property aren't wrong, but timing and structure matter more than the asset. 3. I-bonds and TIPS are the most underused inflation protection tools available right now. 4. Stay in the market. Use dividend-paying index funds so you earn income even when prices drop. 5. Asset location and catch-up contributions can legally add tens of thousands to your retirement. 6. Lock your fixed costs and build income that rises with inflation. That is the complete defense. You now know what to do. But there's one thing we didn't cover today, and it's the step that determines whether all of this actually works for your situation. How do you build the exact allocation, the right percentages, the right accounts, the right order based on your specific age, income, and retirement timeline? Comment below. See you in the next one.